Hey, what's up, everybody? So in this video, I'm going to share with you my setting script that has worked really well for me to reach out to over 25,000 people. I've booked thousands of calls for myself, for other businesses, and I've helped my clients do the same. So yeah, let's get straight into it. This is specifically for the DMs, but actually would work really well also for calls if you used it. It just has to be altered a little bit, but it's mainly for DMs, but it should work. So let's get straight into it. So I have two versions. I have a short version and a long version, and this is going to depend on the warmness of your audience. Okay, the colder the leads that you're getting, the more of a process you need to have, the more questions you need to ask to warm them up, and the warmer they are, the more of a short script you can have. Okay, so this all depends. Let's start with the long script so that you can see. But basically, the long script is divided into aim, now, dream, commit, and pitch. Okay, and actually, let's divide this as well by this. There we go. Okay. So what does that mean? Aim is basically getting the aim of the conversation, right? Why did they come into the inbox, right? If it's inbound, or getting to outbound, which is like starting a conversation, usually you reach out to followers or likers. So what about it kind of made it interesting for them? Okay. Let's start with outbound. So a message that works really well is like, hey, name, I noticed that we're both following X in X group, or you've been following the content for a while. Hope you're doing amazing. This is kind of like if it's super cold, right? If you don't even know who they are, right? They're not even a follower, all the way to somebody who's been following you, right? Um, Also, here in this one, it could be something like, it seems you're an X. Is that right? Right. This is the next message you would send, right? To get a yes or no. What you want to have is something. So let's start from the top. The first thing is you want to send something that is neutral. It doesn't ask for anything because most people out there are going to ask a question right away in the first message. And so, unless you're doing like a very direct message, I wouldn't do this. This is just to start a conversation so that the next message you want to ask a easy to answer question, okay, which is a yes or no or a or B. Okay, so it seems you're an X. Is that right? Yes or no, right? Have you been into X for a long time? Yes or no? Same thing. Okay, and then after that, cool. I short related personal experience with authority, which is basically giving value with authority to show who you are as a person, and then you go into the next process, which is what got you into that in the first place, right? Still kind of trying to get the aim of the person and what they're trying to do. Instead, if it's inbound, it would be something like this. So, hi, name, appreciate reaching out. Hope you're doing great. And you can ask, may I ask you what made you reach out in the first place? Right. So this is really good because it kind of starts a conversation. Something that I prefer instead of may I ask what made you reach out in the first place. It sounds a little bit too formal. So what I would say is like, what by the way, what made you reach out in the first place? That tends to be a little bit better, right? Another option is like if they've asked for a link, right? You can ask this, send this right here. You go link, check it out. Let me know how if it helps. If you don't mind sharing, is this something you're struggling with at the moment? Right? There's something that's also a yes or no question to start that conversation. It works pretty well too, right? If it's a group, right, it could be something like this, like, hi, name, welcome to the X Facebook community. My name is X, and I'm the host of the show of the group, right? Are you looking for something in particular? What brought you to join? Have you had a chance to look through our training, right? Those are any good ways to kind of end with that last question. So that's pretty much it. But basically, what you want to understand is their North Star, right? What's the aim? What's the goal that they have in mind? Not what's their goal in 6 months, but the overall mission that they have when reaching out to you, and also themselves, right? What they want to do in life. Next section is the now section, right? What is their current situation? So first is understanding their situation. So what are you doing right now to reach goal, right? Goal. How long have you been doing that for, right? And do you like what you're doing, how it's going? If yes, would you change anything? How do you mean? Tell me more about that, right? Besides X problem, what else don't you like about your current situation? What have you tried to fix this problem? Why didn't it work, right? How has it had an impact on you personally? Either is it for life? These are all good questions to ask. I personally would not. I would remove these two questions. I don't think you need to go into that too much. You just want to keep it as light as possible and make it as easy as possible. Okay. Um, but just getting an idea of one problem, not even asking about multiple problems, one problem, and how do you mean, and get them to explain it a little bit more. And then in dream, same thing, right? What would you like to achieve in 6 months? Let's say you were able to, regarding niche, right? You need to make it specific to your niche. And obviously, all of this you can change based on your niche. Let's say you were able to get to goal. How would that change your life? What would it do for you personally? How would you wake up compared to how you wake up now? This you could even remove, honestly. You don't need that. And this is also not something you need. So basically, just keeping it super simple, right? Removing as much as possible. The next thing is the commit section. Okay. Would you say you're in the stage of your life where you're willing to actually commit, do something to change it, right? Um, and this is actually a pretty good way to go about that. That's pretty much it. Just asking that. And then based on that, you pitch the call, right? Totally get where you're coming from. In fact, based on what you told me, I believe what we could do could work for you because pains, after working with hundreds of people, and then this is the type of niche that you're working with. What I found is that developing the right skills and getting specialized knowledge is the key to succeeding since most information out there is generic and unhelpful. Would it be helpful to hop on a meeting with my team to see if we might be able to help you with reaching goal? So this is pretty good, perhaps a little bit too direct. I personally would remove this and just go into this specifically. Okay, those two, you can send it, making it shorter. Okay, this is the long script. Okay, now this is the short script, and this is divided into two potentials, right? One is the non-intent, meaning they reached out to you, but asking for something for free, right? Not necessarily to get to a specific goal, making it an indirect offer or a direct offer, right? But more so just like free training that you offered, something like that is not specific, right? So, yo, this is the real me. Appreciate you answering the questions. By the way, what were you hoping to achieve with the training in the first place, right? You want to get the North Star question. This is if you have a flow, yo, you can just go straight into this. And then you can just pitch right away. Okay, this is actually doable, but a lot of times, sometimes you need to kind of just have one extra question, right? But if you get a strong North Star, and the key is having a strong North Star, you need to kind of keep probing until you get one, and then you pitch. It works really well, right? Book a call with my head coach. This is in case you have a closer to help you the most, get the most out of this free training, and show you some ways on how to fit this into your routine to help with your problem. Would that be helpful? Well, um, some ways on how to, this is specific for the offer, how to help with your problem. Exactly. There we go. Would that be helpful? Here's the link. And then you have to give them very clear instructions. Okay, this is the most important part. You can open it, pick a day and time that works for you, then fill out the form and book it in. And then you ask them, can you try to book it now? Sometimes the calendar fills up pretty quick. Okay, this is important in order to get them to move. This section is crucial. It changed dramatically how many people booked for us right away, as well as the urgency that they had. So this is for non-intent. For intent-based, what you want is to have a little bit of different flow. Same thing here. What's the main reason for you reaching out? And you want to have definitely open to chat. Let's hop on a call. What's your week availability looking like? Can drop my calendar link here if that's easier? And then they say yes. Here's a link. You can open it, pick a day at the time that works for you. Same thing. Okay. But you just go straight for the pitch. It's a shorter pitch because it's assuming that they already want to hop on a call, and it's pretty straightforward. Right. And then if you really need it, you can also have a voice message saying they're going to have a call with the salesperson instead of the founder, right? In case you have a closer. And then finally, you have doubts here, which is basically the last part, right? In case they have questions, how much is it? I don't have the money. Will I be talking to the business owner? This is ways to handle it, right? So, for example, how much is it, or I don't have the money? The first time they ask, you can deflect, right? Unless you do question depends. It's a completely personalized plan, craft for your specific situation. Depends on what you need, but no worries. We'll cover all that on the call. And if it's a good fit, we'll find a way to make it work. Let's hop on a call and explain everything in details there. Sounds good, right? And then the second time they ask, then you want to give the range, right? This is depending on the situation, on the program. So you could say something like between 2K and 6K, depending on what you need. We're flexible in terms of installments, and you can do a deposit to put together the amount to join in the future. And then this part is crucial. I guess if this program is exactly what you're looking for, would you be completely opposed to hopping a call and see how we can make this work for you, right? So this is another way to go about it, which is pretty good. Then if they ask about the business owner, you can say more likely will be with one of my team members since my schedule is really cramped at the moment. but they'll be able to help you just as much, right? And then you can ask something. You actually don't need to give explanations, um, and just leave it at that. And then tell them excited to have you on the call with my coach. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I keep on working this honestly based on the feedback that I'm getting from clients and what I'm seeing the DMs when I review conversations. So this might change a little bit, but this is kind of the basic skeleton of it. And yeah, hope this is useful and talk very, very soon.